He's pursuing Nineveh because in this story, Nineveh represents the truly lost. At the end of Jonah, God says, Nineveh's a people, 120,000 people don't know their left hand from their right. They're lost. God's heart breaks for the lost. He's crying out, Nineveh, Nineveh. Meanwhile, Jonah, come out of hiding because there is a Nineveh who's lost. And if you are a believer and you say you believe in me and you hear my voice and you fear me, then obey me, come out of hiding, be a part of my plan and actually go and save the lost. What does it mean to say we believe if our heart doesn't break for the things that breaks the Lord's? What does it mean to say we believe if we're not moved by that belief to do something about it? If we're not moved by that belief to go to Nineveh, if we're not moved by that belief to pray for the pagan sailors, if we're not moved by it for it to be an action. I think about it like this: when we're young, everybody wants to be a superhero, right? You want to dress like a superhero, be a superhero. You watch all the superhero movies. You want to be that hero until you grow up and you realize that to be a superhero, you actually have to save the world from destruction. To be a superhero, you actually have to go into the darkest parts, into the middle of the fight. You have to save the people who are hurting. Use the power that's within you to save the people. And I think so many of us, we want to wear the cape, but you don't want to fly into the place that's actually needed. It's like Honey. Honey loves Moana, loves her, thinks she is her, dresses like Moana every single day of her life, calls herself a wayfinder, the whole 9 yards. She is Moana. But then recently, we go on this trip to these islands, and I'm thinking, this is amazing. This is gonna make her dreams come true. She is gonna be in heaven. She is gonna get to be Moana. And we get to this day, we're literally gonna go to this island, and I'm thinking all of her dreams are gonna come true because she's literally dressed like Moana. And as soon as we jump in the water, she starts screaming and crying. She's like, get me out of the water, I don't wanna be in the water, I'm scared. I'm like, honey, you're Moana. You're a wayfinder. Like that, the water is with you, And she's like, no, get me out of the water. So we swim back, and then I see this giant rock. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be epic. I pick her up, go up all the way on the rock. I say, I am Moana. She's so scared of getting on the rock. She's like, I don't wanna be Moana. Get me off the rock. And I'm like, what in the world? I thought your dreams were about to come true. But you see, that's such a good picture of it's one thing to say it, it's one thing to think about it, it's one thing to dress like it, it's another thing to live it. It's another thing to be it. It's another thing to jump in the water, to swim to the rock, to climb up on it. It's another thing to go to Nineveh. It's one thing to be at Passion and be in a room of this many thousands of people worshiping God and being able to raise our hands and believe in Him confidently because everyone else is too. It's another thing to go back to your campus and for your heart to truly break for the people around you and to be willing to be a light in the darkness and to be willing to actually use the power, the Holy Spirit inside of you to speak to people, to pray to people, to believe for people on your campus. Friend, the call of God on your life in this room today that you will respond to, man, He's coming after you, but He is also coming after the people you're going back to. It's not just about you. It's about the university. It's about your future family. It's about the people that you will meet whenever you're working the job that you work. When you become a believer, when you become found by God, now you're on the mission to go help find others. Carrying on, says, what should we do then? That the sea may quiet down for us, verse 11. For the sea continued to grow more and more tempestuous. And he said, Jonah said this, he said, pick me up, hurl me into the sea, then the sea will quiet down for you. For I know it is because of me that this great tempest has come upon you. Nevertheless, the men began to row harder to get back to dry land, but they couldn't.